An, Vietnam. When it first started to noticeably affect Vietnam while I was here, me and my girlfriend were in Hoi An. They were telling us that they're gonna close the city in 2 days. So we headed off to Hanoi real quick and came straight to Hoi An, from the north to the middle. And luckily we got here just before Hoi An closed down. So we got a beautiful homestay to stay in for a couple months while this was kind of blowing over. And we were fortunate enough to have 3 other neighbors, so we were never too lonely, and a family of 4 living with us as well. So yeah, we were never too alone. It was nice, it was chill, it was relaxing. Eventually it was mandatory to only be going out in groups of 2 or 1, and to stay at least 6 feet apart from one another, as well as wearing masks and making sure that you have your applications filled out. They used to make you fill out applications to see where you've been the past 2 weeks, if you've been in any dangerous areas, making sure you've been in Vietnam, sick, whatever. Eventually they made an application online and on your phone, so you can just download the app, fill that out, and show that to everybody instead of filling out papers every time. So yeah, they did that, and yeah, the housing situation wasn't so bad. Although Hoi An is a small city, when I first got here, it was packed. I mean, these streets right here were filled. When you crossed over the bridge, it was packed. When you were driving down the street, it was packed. People walking in front of you all over the place, honking all over the place. You know, regular Vietnam traffic. Oh. So yeah, the streets went from looking something like this to looking something a little bit more like this. Very quiet, very chill. Yeah, all the stores were closed. The restaurants that didn't close would only deliver, or you could sometimes pick up from the restaurant. And yeah, the markets were still open, so me and my girlfriend were vegetarian, and we actually switched over to being vegan during this, and it's been great, fantastic change. Love being vegan, I've never felt better. And yeah, so the markets were open. This bridge used to be so packed with people. Like, there's no way you could even ride your bike across here. It's quite chill now, quite relaxing. The rest of this video is just going to be a couple interviews from a few people who have been living in Hoi An during Corona times and how their life has been. We're in Hoi An, Vietnam today with Tigo, and
hey, what's up?
He's gonna tell us what life in Hoi An, Vietnam has been like during Corona times.
Hi guys, I'm living since 1.5 years in Hoi An, and I can just say, while Corona, I just appreciate the Vietnamese government. They made so good, honestly, like compared to Germany, where I'm normally from. It's nuts. Hoi An just ruled it, like Vietnam in general. Like, yeah. But yeah,
Ramina, how has your life been during Corona times in Hoi An?
Life in Hoi An during Corona was actually really chilled. I personally didn't feel it too much, to be completely honest. I still was able to walk the dog. There were a couple of restaurants that were open, so therefore it wasn't that much affected. The only thing I felt was really that beach bar was closed. There weren't like big parties anymore. But other than that, it's definitely not been something compared to Europe or anywhere else in the world.
Lawrence, how has your life been during Corona times in Hoi An, Vietnam?
Well, yeah, life in a time of Corona has been really inspiring. I lived a very fast-paced life before, and I was always so focused on professional stuff. I never took the time really think about what I was gonna do next. If this pandemic did not happen, I probably would have done another year of the same thing. I became the head teacher of one of the best schools in Shanghai. I was working 3 or 4 jobs. But until I was forced to slow down with social distancing, I did not realize how unenjoyable I was finding my life. Cranky, tired, upset. Corona actually, I know it's been a big tragedy for a lot of people, but I would say that Corona kind of saved me a little bit. I got accepted to grad school. I've got a bunch of new wonderful projects to do. And if I did not have the time to just stop, slow down, and think, none of it would have happened. Also, I got to meet a bunch of brilliant, amazing, wonderful people who have inspired me to be better. So overall, life in the time of Corona has been much sweeter than I would have imagined.
This is my beautiful girlfriend, Meryem, and today she is going to tell us how life in Hoi An, Vietnam has been during Corona times.
All right, so first when both of our tickets got canceled, I was really upset. I was so excited. I couldn't wait to see my family come back home after being away for the first time for 6 months. I couldn't wait to show Noah my country, travel around with him. But yeah, the universe had other plans for us. And when I look back at it now, I guess I would say it was a blessing in disguise. I've had so much time to just reflect and think and make changes, and I've become way healthier. I've got the opportunity to change my lifestyle, to work out every day, do yoga every day. I learned to play the ukulele. I learned how to macrame. I became vegan. That's really important. We became vegan. And yeah, and I guess if it wasn't for this lockdown, I wouldn't have the opportunity to do so many things in such a short amount of time. And I'm really thankful for it, and I'm so happy, and I think I'm very lucky to be here in Hoi An, in this beautiful country with the man I love. And I'm very happy and thankful for it.
Derek, how has life in Hoi An, Vietnam been during Corona times?
So at the beginning, so me and you were on that trip to Hoi An, and that was Tet holiday.
Yeah.
Alright, so nothing was open anyways, right, when we were on that trip.
Mm-hmm.
It's all closed up because we were, outside of, I think Hoi An was still going, but whatever. But we got back, and then it was good for a while, and then everything started popping off where it was oh, it's really happening, it's going in China and Italy and all that.
Yeah, in mid-March.
Yeah, and then it was pretty much business as usual here. Just people with Italian passports couldn't come, Korea passports couldn't come, and then so we were going out partying and everything still, but there was no school. They'd closed the schools, but everything else was going just fine.
Yeah.
And then only a few countries weren't allowed in. And then the lockdown happened, where you're just not supposed to be out at all. There was a curfew, and honestly, we were at Cloudy's for a month, barely left. Went to go get food, walked around. I barely left the apartment for the whole month.
Yeah, mid-March to mid-February.
Yeah, I can't even remember now.
Something like that.
Well, mid-March to April.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Yeah, April.
And it was, I don't know, kind of chill, because we got the Corona money for being Americans, so that was okay.
Yeah, from the U.S. we all got $1,200 for each adult who did their taxes last year.
That was a nice cushion, right? And taxes came back at the same time. So
yeah.
it wasn't oh no, we're totally screwed. And then we weren't really worried about the virus actually coming through because it was like, you know, not really coming.
Yeah, Vietnam did such a good job. Their
Right.
government like really cracked down.
Yeah, they cracked down hard, and I think it was probably the better choice. Like at first I thought, oh, they're being too strict, but
I totally didn't take it seriously.
No,
at
man,
first.
I don't think hardly anybody did.
Yeah. Then my plane tickets got canceled.
Yeah. My parents were supposed to come to visit. My parents were coming to visit, and their flight got canceled, everything like that. So, I mean, I don't think anybody took it super serious at first, but I think Vietnamese people in the government, like, they were like, oh, we're not messing around because, I don't know, I don't think they have the capacity if it did hit here, like, there's just not enough hospital beds if it got bad here, so they went, you know, on the high defensive right away.
Yeah, overprepared instead of underprepared.
Yeah, which, you know,
was good.
When you look back, you'd rather that than underprepared.
Yeah.
But now, you know, school's been open for over a month. Back to work. It's business as usual, but it's kind of strange that Hoi An, like, the tourism's way down. One thing I do like is like that midday nap time, or even if you're down in like the main area of town, since there's hardly any tourists, you know, it's that midday, noon to 1:30, 2 o'clock nap time. It's total like ghost town.
Yeah.
Like, over here by the lakes and even like near Old Town.
Yeah, a lot of people have been saying it's like Hoi An, but 70 years ago before all the Westerners came in.
And there's still like a lot of expats and tourists here that are just like here and they're like, why would I go back? You know, it's so difficult to travel right now. But I think it's going pretty good. It's kind of like business as usual, I guess, but kind of terrible for the people that need the tourists, you know?
Yeah, there's not a ton of foreigners anymore, and
The money's not coming in like it was. Hopefully they can get some more people coming in from countries that it's died down. Like I heard maybe New Zealand,
yeah.
Japan maybe, Korea. Yeah, but I'm glad it was handled the way it was. It was super boring for that month, but if that's the worst thing I can say about it, who cares? That's pretty good. Oh, I
Yeah.
was bored for a month. Whoop-de-doo. No big deal.
Hoi An translates to peaceful meeting place. However, it's usually blasting with tourists. So a few locals said, because of the coronavirus coming around, everyone in Hoi An has gotten to experience it as it was 50 plus years ago. As always, thank you for watching my video. Please hit subscribe, like, and I'll see you in the next video. Comment down below where you are in the world, what you learned, and what your life has been like during Corona times.